Hi, it's Paul Langmack here for SportsBet, and I'm with the playboy of punting, Ben, from SportsBet also. Looking a treat there, Ben.
Langers, it's fantastic to be here in this fine establishment we're in today.
Yes, and for SportsBet, we're bringing you some inside oil on this weekend's games of Week 2 of the final series of the NRL. New Zealand Warriors playing the Roosters at Mount Smart Stadium. What's your tip? What are the odds?
Langers, look, the Warriors, of course, favourites after that sensational victory last week. They are favourites at $1.63. The Roosters outsiders at $2.30. The line is 3.5. Langers, I'm sticking with the Roosters to cover that line of 3.5. What about you?
Look, I know it's a lot of money's come in for the Warriors. I just think the Roosters perform well as underdogs. They'll come there with a siege mentality. I think Phil Gould will have some input in the way they're going to play. Last week, the Warriors, it was a great effort, but their halves don't get me, the 7 and the 6, and I don't think they've got enough points in them to beat the Roosters. I think the Roosters will win 1-12. Great odds at $3.95. SportsBet $3.95. Roosters 1-12. I think you should get on them.
Expect some changes in that Roosters side. Amos Roberts will play. Sean Kenny-Dow is also a chance, and they've scored between them nearly 30 tries this year. And I think Mitchell Pearce will put those crossfield kicks back up. Manu Vatuvei has been good, but in the wet conditions expected for tonight, may have a few troubles, Langers.
And I think Kirk's a weakness too on the wing. He should have scored 2 tries last week. He's short. I think they'll bomb for him. Manu, I love watching him play. He's either rocks or diamonds. It's most of the time diamonds. Great to watch, but we all have a bad game. Now, coming into Saturday night's game, what a game. Brisbane versus the Storm up in Brisbane.
Langers, I really think this is the grand final Saturday night. Whoever wins this game, I believe, will win the NRL Premiership in 2 weeks' time. The Broncos, they've had a difficult week. They are outsiders at $2.50 after that sensational performance second half performance against the Roosters last week. They didn't expect to be playing the Storm. They are. The Storm, of course, favourites at $1.55. The line is 4.5. I'm going to take the Storm in a very, very close game, straight out at $1.55.
Well, Ben, I disagree. I think Melbourne Storm, they're limped into the semis. They've got a lot of injuries. They missed Ben Cross in the front row from last year. Kafusi's not fit. Ryan Hoffman's not fit. Dallas Johnson's not fit. I just think they haven't got enough go forward in them. And I think the Broncos, when things go against you like this in the press, at Canterbury Bankstown in 1985, there was a lot of dramas that Warren Ryan and Peter Moore were fighting each other, having disagreements. It was in the press. It gelled us more together, and we actually won the grand final. And I think the Broncos, their big game players, will stand up, and big game players win the games. And I think in the back of the mind, Melbourne know that the Broncos can beat them. Just like last week, Melbourne knew that the Warriors can beat them. The Warriors now have beaten them 3 times in the last 2 seasons, and I think the same thing will happen up in Brisbane. And I think the Brisbane with 1-12, great odds, $3.70. So if I'm saying now the Roosters 1-12, the Broncos 1-12, $3.95, all into $3.70, $100 might turn you into about $1,000.
Langers, another option. Look, as I said, Melbourne head-to-head. But if you can find unders in either of those games, Friday night and Saturday night, I think they'll both be low-scoring affairs, so jump on that as well.
That's why you weren't not wearing a collar. I'm saying the Brisbane-Melbourne game, I totally agree with you, actually. I was only joking. No, look, it's going to be a great game. It's the mentor, Wayne Bennett, against the young up-and-coming coach. He's a great coach. Yes. You've got Carmichael Hunt and Billy Slater. The big game players will come out and shine. And I think if Melbourne win, they'll win the comp. But we'll talk about next week. I think the Sharks will be loving the play against the Broncos.
Quick tip, Langers, I want to know from you. The Premiership odds are out. The Roosters, of course, are outside at $17. They are the longest of the other 6 sides. Who's your tip for the Premiership?
It all depends on Saturday night. I think if Melbourne win Saturday, they will win the comp. in saying that I think Manly, they're seeking revenge. They really have got under the radar in the sense that everyone said, oh, it's home and nose, Melbourne, or Brisbane, or St George. Manly, great defence, and defence wins big games.
Yeah. Jamie Lyon has taken a lot of pressure off Matt Alford ever since he's come back from the side, and he's made a big difference. But I still think Melbourne got the wood over them. They can beat Brisbane, but they can't beat Melbourne.
Well, we will be back next week, and when you have your $100 on the Roosters 1-12 at the juicy odds of $3.95 with SportsBet, that's right, SportsBet, and put it all into the Broncos 1-12 at $3.70. You got some juicy odds, great money, and you can celebrate. So it's Paul Langmack and Ben. Ben, what's your last name?
Ben Ezekiel from sportsbet.com.au, Langmack.
That's right, Paul Langmack, yesterday's hero, and happy punting. Thank you.